Before 1999, if you needed a dentist in Vietnam, you'd likely end up in a crowded public hospital or someone's converted living room. Then came along Dr. Vo Van Tu Hien, who changed the game. He opened up Vietnam's first private multi-chair dental clinic, Nha Qua 2000, bringing modern dentistry to the people, right when the country needed it most. Today, that legacy lives on with Premier Dental, founded by Dr. Hien in 2004 and now led by his daughter Annie Vo and her US-trained husband, Dr. Albert Viet Lee. They're blending global standards with Vietnamese care, and not just for fillings and cleanings. Premier Dental focuses on areas Vietnam urgently needs, like gum disease treatment and kids' dental health. And they're doing it with advanced tech, bilingual support, and a no-nonsense ethical approach to care. If you want dental care you can trust from a team who's modernized it over 2 decades, visit premierdental.vn or just Google Premier Dental Vietnam. They've been pioneering dentistry here since the 90s and they're only getting better.
I don't think Vietnam is a great place for people that have disabilities or any issues with walking at all.
A lot of people don't understand living abroad.
The cities in the world that residents live in that they don't want to leave. Taipei was number 1. Ho Chi Minh City was number 2.
Now that I've lived in a big city, especially Saigon, I'm not sure I could move back to a small town.
They got told, a group of Westerners, by a Vietnamese woman to be quiet, that they were being too loud. This is public transportation. Welcome to another episode of A Vietnam Podcast. I'm Adrie Lopez Mackay, better known as Neil's wife. We've lived here since 2016, and Neil started this podcast in 2019, so I've been along for the journey the whole time. And the most exciting thing is we recently opened up, mainly Neil with my support. We are here with Krista Bernard, and she has lived in Vietnam for 4 years, originally from Canada, and used to be a correctional officer. Welcome to today's podcast.
Thank you. It's nice being here. Love it.
What are your thoughts on the studio so far?
I love it. Love the vibe. Love the decor. It's amazing.
Awesome. So you recently came back from your hometown in Canada, and I'm really interested to know, you come from like small town farm vibes. So I'm really curious, how does that compare, like your life in Canada where you grew up, to one of the biggest, most recently, one of the biggest metropolises, mega cities in the world, Ho Chi Minh City and Vietnam?
It's true. I come from a village. It doesn't even qualify as town status. It's a village. We say 500 people, including cows. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's an agricultural center, I would say. It's very small.
What does it specialize in agriculturally wise?
Lots of cash crop farms, lots of dairy farms, lots of beef farms.
And your family's farm?
Dairy cattle.
So how does the lifestyle in your village compare? Like, what's the starkest difference, do you think, compared to Vietnam?
There's so many differences. Going home we were there for about a little over 2 weeks. It's so different. There's not much diversity in terms of people. There's not much diversity in terms of food. We do have our token kind of Chinese restaurant. Yeah, it's pretty bland, I must say.
Bland is a good word to describe what you've just described.
It's funny because a lot of the friends I went to university with, they kind of moved to Ottawa, Toronto, big city to go to university, and now they've moved back. And so at least there's open minds.
Are you one of the few people that has left and not returned?
Yeah.
What do people think about that?
A lot of people don't understand living abroad. Every time I go home, the question is, when are you moving back? Why would you choose to live abroad? When are you moving back? And it's so hard to explain that, I get a free round trip flight every year. I have a similar paycheck. I get to travel to so many countries. just the experiences are
Your life is not
unreal,
planned.
right? It's unreal. So it'd be so hard to move back there. Now, I haven't lived in this small town for a very long time. I moved to Alberta for about 16 years, also very small town, but more like about 5,000 people. We didn't visit there this summer, but similar vibes.
Has your hometown changed a lot since you grew up there? Or would you say it's, because I know a lot of people that leave, like when they go back, they either kind of see it differently, either because it's changed or just through a different lens. Has your hometown changed? Like, has it grown, or is it very similar to what it was when you were there?
It has grown, mostly because like the city of Ottawa itself has expanded its region, and a lot of people can't afford to buy or rent in Ottawa. So they've spread. They started to buy houses on the outskirts and then commute in. So a lot of people have bought homes in the region, which has made it grown significantly. But for the most part, not that much has changed. We still have one gas station, one main convenience store. Years ago, we used to have this old hotel, and on the bottom floor, it was a bar. Someone's bought it and returned it back to being a restaurant and bar, which is kind of cool. But that used to be there, so they really haven't grown very much. We actually played the tourists when we were home this summer, and we went to the old grain mill. And so they've changed the inside of the grain mill to be a museum and a venue for weddings and photographs and stuff. So that was really cool. But that's really the only upgrade or change that I noticed.
That's crazy. What did Paul think?
He kept saying, like, I haven't really seen the real Canadian experience. You know, we've been in the country the whole time. And friends of ours were like, that is the Canadian experience.
So for a little bit of background, Paul hails from Perth, Australia. So it was his first time visiting Canada, is that right?
Yeah.
That's great.
First time.
Very cool.
He milked a cow for the first time.
Wow, how did he go?
Really good. He was nervous at first, I think, but he got, he did really well. Shot a weapon, shot a 30-30. We're not sure if he hit the target.
I have no idea what that means. Is that a big weapon?
Not the biggest, no. I think it was a perfect size for him for his first gun experience.
Not the biggest, but the perfect size. Got it. Okay.
He was quite nervous, yeah. But did really well. We couldn't tell if we were hitting the target or not. Like, it was really windy. And so we're not sure. But he came close for sure because you could see the dirt flying up. So we know he got close anyways.
That's awesome. All right. So you've lived in Ho Chi Minh City now for a year, or as we refer to it as Saigon, and you came from Hanoi. So I'm curious to know, what do you think about Saigon after your first year?
So every time someone asks me this question, I have to preface it with, as soon as I moved here, I tore my ACL, and it was really bad for a long time. So I didn't leave the house. I barely went to work. I didn't really make any friends. I didn't socialize a whole lot. And then I missed out on a lot of social aspects of getting to know the city. Thank goodness for you and Neil. I think we started to leave the house a little bit more to meet up with you guys, but I really don't know the city that well.
When did you start to become more mobile after you injured your ACL?
I didn't get surgery until October, and then it was probably 3 months after that before I became comfortable enough, especially in the rainy season. It was so slippery and I was so nervous. Like, a lot of places have tile. So I was so nervous about slipping and falling, and I couldn't sit on a grab bike. So I'm thinking it was about 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Vietnam is a great place for people that have disabilities or any issues with walking at all. So that must have been really, really tough coming to a new city, and then you're welcomed by an immediate injury. So you've effectively really only been here for a few months, because then you went on your summer break. So now that you've been here for, let's say you've had a few months experience in Saigon, despite being here for a year, What are your impressions of the city?
Now that I've lived in a big city, especially Saigon, I'm not sure I could move back to a small town. I love the variety in food. Number one, food. But also, I forget who I was speaking to about this before, but even just the activities that you have access to at your fingertips. You know, you can do an art class. You can do any sport you want. You can do a book club. Like, you have access to so many activities that you just wouldn't have back home. And I don't know if it's because I lived in smaller towns. I mean, the village I'm from is pretty small, but 5,000 people is quite small too. So, you know, we had a baseball team. Like, there was no adult, like, women's soccer team or anything. Your access was quite restricted. So, love that about Saigon.
What kind of activities, like classes, have you taken advantage of since you've been able to?
Not that many. I did a resin class in Taipei and really loved that. And she had mentioned doing all these other projects as well. So I might do another one.
Can I come this time?
Of course.
I was sick the last time. That was devastating.
I mean, her studio is great too. It's amazing. I have another class booked. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a mosaic tile lamp creation. It looks amazing. Anyways, signed up to do that. I think in September. I played a lot of sports. Obviously not currently, but there's a few teams here that I'm interested in joining again. So the sports for sure.
So activities, food, anything else?
I don't know if this is Saigon as much, but I just love that we're kind of a central hub to go anywhere. We've booked tickets for Christmas to go, like, direct flight to Australia, which is amazing. Korea is so close. Like, everywhere is just so accessible that I think it opens a lot of doors that Hanoi was great, but it was a pain to fly anywhere. Usually we'd have to fly into Saigon to go anywhere. It lengthened the trip so much that it just makes it so much easier living here.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. I mean, I know Saigon is a bigger city than Hanoi, but Hanoi is actually a little bit more centrally Asian located. Maybe the airport's just bigger or something. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about, obviously talking about like the great things about Saigon and why it would be hard to leave to go back to like a smaller city. And I recently saw that there was on some world list, as people make these lists, that of the cities in the world that people that residents live in that they don't want to leave, Taipei was number 1, Ho Chi Minh City was number 2, and I think Singapore was number 3. So you recently traveled to Taiwan. Did you go to Taipei?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so would be interested to hear about that. But why do you think Ho Chi Minh City and maybe Taiwan, why do you think those are places that residents don't want to leave?
I think, at least for foreigners, a lot of employment opportunities offer a more competitive salary, maybe than other places, that you can still get the taste of Asia without living in. I mean, Canada is so expensive. You still have the great parts of Asia, but you have access to westernized restaurants and things as well. So you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it because, I mean, having lived here for 9 years, like the city has developed and grown a lot, and the access to those, I guess, Western privileges or even like products has grown a lot. And so what you said there, like the best of both worlds, like you get Asia, which is amazing because of the diversity of even different like Asian cuisines, Asian cultures within the city. Plus you've got like access to all the other good Western things that we like. And I remember when we first moved here, like cheese was really expensive and hard to come by. And now it's everywhere, which is awesome because I love cheese.
And pizza. On our last pod, we were talking about you could only get shrimp pizza. Now you could get any flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What about Taipei? What did you think?
Taipei is amazing. I would move there for sure.
Yeah.
They don't The turnover for teachers there is very low. They love it.
Oh, really?
They love it. Yeah.
I had a friend that was a teacher in Taipei. She didn't love the teaching culture, but I don't know. She wasn't working in an international school. So maybe there's a difference between the setting that you're teaching in,
For
I'm
sure.
sure. But
Yeah, I think Taipei is amazing. Super clean. Like I wish Saigon was like this. There's not even trash cans. Like people just know to bring if there's no trash can, we'll just bring it home. The population is huge, but people clean up after themselves, which is amazing. But then also there's public transportation wherever you need to go. You can go outside of Taipei within an hour, maybe 2 hours, and it's super cheap and super fast. You have access to rural settings, urban settings. It's gorgeous. I love it.
that's one of the places that I have been itching to get back to because we visited Taiwan in 2018. So it's been a few years and we need to get back. But I agree with you on that front. I think as a long-term resident of Saigon, it is difficult to think about leaving because of the great things that the city and the country have to offer. But two of my biggest peeves, well, one of my biggest peeves, trash everywhere. And that concept that I have to get rid of it now. It can't inconvenience me any longer because it's empty, like drivers and stuff like that on the side of the road. They're just like, I don't want this anymore. Now it's the road's problem.
Out the window. Yeah.
No one is picking that up for you. Eventually someone will, which is the unfortunate thing, right? Because someone eventually will have to pick that up. But yeah, that's my biggest peeve. And then, yeah, like you said, I think, though, on the topic of public transportation, we are maybe going to take the metro today, which will be a first for you.
It will be, yeah. I walked down into the metro station to walk under, but I haven't actually been on the metro. So
it's a really good turning point, hopefully, for some of the culture of things like that. Like the metro is, I've been on it a couple times, not too many times, but it's very clean. It seems like people are respecting what it represents as public transportation. One of our friends the other day, this isn't about the metro, but he was on a bus. And so this is, I think, a culture shift. He was on a bus with some friends and they got told, a group of Westerners, by a Vietnamese woman to be quiet, that they were being too loud. This is public transportation. You need to be quiet. So they thought that was pretty funny. And then they immediately got into a taxi and the taxi driver told them to put their seatbelts on. So again, another shift.
Wow.
So things are changing.
Wow, very much so. I love it. I mean, I wish the metro went to D7 for sure.
It will one day, maybe in like 20 years.
It needs to be a priority. I think that's one of the downsides of this city is it's so large and traffic is so bad that if someone says, let's meet in Taotian, my first thought is no.
Yeah, you have to reverse math that. Like, okay, I need to be there at this time. What time do I need to leave? How long is it going to take me? How much time do I need to get ready? And then you're like, oh, I need like 2 or 3 hours before I have
Cost
to go.
benefit analysis. No, it's not going to work in my favor. Let's meet in D1.
Yeah, well, at least D1 is central, and now it's not called D1 anymore. But you've been away for this. So on July 1st, when you were overseas, the whole of the city. So that's what I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. Ho Chi Minh City's recently become a mega city because it combined with some of the neighboring provinces, I think. And as part of that, they got rid of the districts. So now, they've I think they've done it to streamline the like government paperwork, all that kind of stuff. But now, like, for example, District 1 is now divided, I think, into 3 wards. So we're currently in Saigon Ward. And then there's 2 other wards, I believe. I don't know what they're called. But like where we used to live in Tan Mi Loi Ward of District 2. And now we live in Cat Lai Ward of no district. It's just called Cat Lai Ward. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So now it's not District 1 anymore, but I'm sure we'll still refer to it as the district.
It'll take a while,
Yeah, for a while. All right, Krista, this has been really awesome. My first interviewing experience.
Good job.
You've been a really good subject to interview. Thank you for all your answers. I think we're going to head off for some dinner and maybe drinks and hopefully catch the last of the sunlight for the day. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of A Vietnam Podcast. I've been your guest host, Neil's wife, also known as Adrie. Hopefully I wasn't terrible. You did great. See you.
Hột gà nướng, hột vịt lộn, hột vịt sữa, trứng cút lộn, mắm xào đây.
Whether it's your first cleaning or you're finally sorting that long overdue crown, Premier Dental is where you should go for dental care done right. Family founded, ethically run, internationally trained. Premier Dental has been trusted by generations since 1999, including me and Adrie. Learn more at premierdental.vn and make sure to tell them when you go that you heard it here at a Vietnam podcast from me, Neil Mackay. Cheers.